Hello everyone, I'm Carly and thank you so much for joining me on Crafting with Class. Today I have a fun shutter card a la Anna Griffin to share with you today. And so this card is made with her shutter dies and lots of her embellishments as well. And then when you open it, the shutters reveal the sentiment inside. So I showed you this during the last haul. So I'm using her shutter dies, the Drapery style. And it comes with everything you need to create this beautiful card style. Now, I've already cut out some of the pieces just to save time. You're going to need two of these for the belly band that wraps around the card, and then one of these that'll go in the middle as part of the mechanism. And then you will also need the basic card base, and so it will cut it out for you so that there it is. And I use pattern paper, and I just glue them together. And then you'll need two of this die right here, which makes the two shutters. So I cut those out in pink, and then the middle part is the decorative element to go on the shutters, and then you can cut as many of those as you want. Alright, so to begin, I went ahead and burnished those score marks that the die makes for you. And so that basically is the gatefold part of the card. And so now I'm going to add some score tape to those ends. So I'm going to put some score tape on that end and then put some score tape on the other. And then this will secure it, and it is part of the mechanism. So I'll burnish those down really well, and I will do the same thing for what are the shutter pieces. So add some score tape and burnish those down really well as well. Now, I've made many shutter cards using the Lawn Fawn die, so I was very curious to see how these would compare to the Lawn Fawn one. And I think it definitely helped me, having made so many of the Lawn Fawn ones. So one thing I like to do with these dies is to open them up and kind of line them up next to each other, making sure that there's enough space between them and then at the top and the bottom. And once I have them exactly where I want them, then I can go ahead and remove that liner tape that I'm struggling to do right there. And then just go ahead and flip the side down on top of it, and then that will pick it up in the exact place it needs to be. And then I will do the same thing with the other side, making sure that it matches the other one, and then I'll just pick it up with the side. And I find this is very helpful in making sure that both of those are lined up well. So now I'm ready to put that middle panel on top, and so I'm going to peel back just the bottom one, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom, and I want to make sure that it's in between both of the shutters. So not too much to the right, not too much to the left. So once I have it in where I want it, then I can go ahead and press that down to secure it to the card. And so this is right underneath the shutters. So now I have die cut this oval that's going to house the sentiment. So I'm making sure of where I want it. So of course I just want to put it in the middle. I've put this oval piece in my positioning tool, and I'm stamping the sentiment down. And then I can go ahead and take it out of my MISTI and glue it into position. So I want to first make sure kind of where I want it and align it where I want it, and then I can go ahead and add some adhesive to the back. I like using wet adhesive for this because it does give you that wiggle room. And now what's key about this is that you make sure to add adhesive all the way to the edges, because you don't want to create catch points where the shutters are going to get caught, because that's going to impede the process of your shutter card from working correctly. So once I have it where I want it, I can go ahead and take my bone folder and really burnish those edges in so there are no catch points and no little glue things either. Alright, so now that that's ready, I can go ahead and take that second tape liner off and then secure the other end, and now my mechanism should work perfectly. So I'm trying it out, and yes, it works perfectly. All right, so now that's it. Basically, the card is done and the mechanism works. So the rest is just decorating. Now here's where I realized I forgot to put stick-it adhesive on the other side of this paper. So I take out my Mega Runner and just lazily add some strips of glue. And of course, there's nowhere near enough glue. So I had to go back and like fill in this and that here and there with regular glue. So yeah, that was a fail, definitely. All because I didn't take 5 steps back behind me and grab my Xyron sticker maker to make my life easier. So then I went ahead. Did I get my Xyron sticker maker for this one? Well, no, because as you can see, I just went with the glue bottle. And of course, this is such an intricate die that it took forever to try to get glue in all the little spaces where you know you should have adhesive and all the edges and everything. So yes, 1 hour later, kind of, sort of, I went ahead and was able to adhere this side to the end. Now, you thought, yep, you must have learned your lesson, and you went right 5 feet behind you and grabbed your Xyron sticker maker, right? Well, let's find out. Now I realized, oh, I forgot to add these decorative panels to that shutter. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do. But then I also didn't like how shiny that was in there. So I thought, okay, I think maybe I want to use a different paper there. But I did like how they looked in the front, so that was going to stay there. So I went ahead and added liquid glue because, oh no, I didn't learn my lesson. So I added liquid glue and added that to the front, and then took another one and added more liquid glue, taking forever to try to get, as much of that die cut filled with glue. Exactly. So, yep, there I am, finally done adding the glue to the back of that die cut and then lining it up into position to fit on that card front. So it's kind of nice though, because the card base will pretty much tell you exactly where you need to put this decorative layer on. So this die is, very well thought out of and, pretty easy to use. Okay, so now I have all those done on the front, and now I can go ahead and work on that inside part. So I really wasn't feeling that bright gold, so I went ahead and die cut some out of this more muted gold. Now, I went ahead and took out those panels and I removed them very carefully, and luckily that was not hard to do. So again, I had to make sure that I got glue on every little edge, because these, if they happen to stick out or pop up a little bit, then it's going to impede the mechanism from working correctly. So it's very important that there's glue on those edges and all over this die cut if possible. So I am really pressing it down. I'm using my bone folder to really get that flat as possible to the paper. Again, this is where that Xyron sticker maker would have been perfect, but oh no, it's just too far away, all of 5 feet. So I'm doing it the hard way. So now that I'm finally getting to the last pieces of it, I can go ahead and glue it down to the panel. And then of course I'm gonna try to get that as flat as possible so that there's nothing sticking out, so it doesn't catch on anything. And I'm going to burnish that down with my bone folder as well. So now I can go ahead and carefully take each of those and then pop those back into place, which was no problem to do. And that worked out nicely. So I definitely would recommend, if you do this, to make sure you do that decorating before you assemble the mechanism. But if you forget like I did, then it's not terribly hard to get those out and then decorate it. Okay, so now that I've got the basic mechanism done, the card is pretty much done. we are ready to go to the decorating part. And so I've pulled out some elements from my Anna Griffin stash, and these are some beautiful roses and hydrangeas from that collection of stickers, the hydrangea and roses stickers. And these are beautiful. I mean, Anna Griffin surely does know her flowers for sure. And so I'm kind of just laying them out, trying to see where I want them to go, because with this type of card, you do need to be mindful of elements, decorative elements, so that they don't impede the interactive function of the card. So I'm kind of going to, put things down, move them around, kind of test them out to make sure that where they are is not going to impede the shutters from opening and closing properly, because that defeats the purpose of this interactive card. So I'm going to go ahead and place that little swirly when it's where I'd like it to be, then I can go ahead and press that down. And now I'm going to struggle with trying to get this liner off this sticker. And oh man, these little liners, they're a little bit hard to take off. You gotta, find that right, place to pull that tape off. So I want to take my tool there, my anti-static powder tool, to remove some of that sticky from the top part of that hydrangea sticker so that it doesn't stick anywhere near where that mechanism will close. And so that's what that was for, to remove some of that sticky. Okay, so now I have taken off the liner off the rose one. And then I'm going to do the same thing by using my powder tool to remove the sticky from the little leaf that's overhanging from the top. And then here I am struggling to take the liner off of this rose. And if you have any tricks or tips on how to remove that liner, by all means, feel free to let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and position those. And then once I like where they are, I'm going to go ahead and press them down firmly and making sure that it doesn't impede the mechanism. And so now I'm going to stick that little butterfly, and I'm only putting adhesive on the body part. And so I like it right up here above the sentiment in that little space right there at the top. So again, I'm double checking, making sure there's no glue that's going to fall anywhere and that the mechanism functions correctly, just like that. All right, perfect. So cute. All right, so now I can work on that belly band. All right, so we needed two pieces. One of them you're going to leave the tabs on, and one you're going to cut off. And so you're going to put some glue on one of the tabs and then adhere the other tab to it, just like this. Now I'm going to hold it down just for a minute so that the glue can set, and then I'll add some adhesive to the other side. And then I'm going to fold it down, and then again I'm going to hold it down, press it down tightly with my fingers just so that the glue can set. And then while that is drying, I'm going to work on the decorative element that will go on top of the belly band. So again, I've chosen some elements that I think I want for this part. And I have another swirly, and these are similar to the elements that I chose for the inside, just so there's continuity and consistency. And so I have some more roses, little swirlies, the butterflies, and then the sentiment of Feliz Cumpleaños, which is happy birthday in Spanish. And so I'm kind of arranging them, and so once I have them how I think I want the elements to flow, then I can go ahead and start adhering it on there. And so I'm going to put some glue on all of the elements. And now, if I would have thought about it, if I would have been a little bit smart, I probably should have used some press and seal once I had them down where I wanted them to. But I did not. So this was not my best day. So I'm doing this the hard way too. I could have just used the press and seal and then just picked them all up at once and then put them all down at once too. Oh well. Okay, so now I am going ahead and removing that little liner that's giving me problems today, and so that I can adhere those to that front element. So I'm putting those little trio or little quad of roses at the bottom. I wanted to put some foam adhesive on the back of this little banner just to pop that up a little bit for some more dimension. And then I'll adhere that right there in the middle. So pressing that down. And then the idea was for the word sentiment, the word die, to kind of float on it. So I'm just adhering the bottom. So those are the touch points on the banner. And so the rest of the die cut is kind of just going to be floating. So it actually came out like really cute the way that it came out. So just the bottom of those are adhered there, and that is what's holding it down. And then I'm just taking my little pokey tool to make sure that those are kind of up and above and not sagging to the bottom. And I really liked how that looked. Okay, so now just need to add my little butterflies. So I'm going to put some glue just in the middle again. I'm going to pull those wings back just to give it some dimension, and I decided that the bigger butterfly would probably fit best in that space where there's a little more room at the top, and then my smaller butterfly would go at the bottom. Alright, so there we go. So now it's ready to go on to the belly band. So I'm going to take my glue again and add some to that belly band center. Kind of just seeing how much more I need on the sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this decorative panel to the belly band. I'm going to secure it by pressing it down. And then I'm going to add any extra glue to the sides where it needs it. So here and there. And then I'm going to press that down to secure it and give time for the glue to adhere and set. Just like that. All right, so now comes the scary part. Hoping that this belly band isn't too tight or too loose to make sure that it's a good fit over this card. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around and slide it down, and yay, it's perfect. All right, so there it is, the finished card. So sliding off the belly band, and then when you open it, it reveals a sentiment: may this year be your best ever. So pretty. And really, it's not hard to do at all, especially if you use the right glue. And don't be lazy. That's the lesson of the day. All right, so here is the final card. It's not too bulky either. And the belly band is nice back there. I can put my personal stamp on the back. And that is it. Cute, cute. So pretty. Alright, so now that this card is done, I wanted to share how this card, which is a 5x7 in the final size, compares to the one from Lawn Fawn. So here's the Lawn Fawn one on the left. I made this for all my Christmas cards this year. And it's super cute, but it is definitely much smaller, but it works exactly in the same type of way. Of course, you have a much bigger aperture for the Anna Griffin one because you have more space. But they both work essentially the same way, and they're both beautiful, super cute. So there is room in the world for both of them. So thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. I so appreciate it. And I hope you stay well and enjoy a lovely crafternoon. And if you'd like to see anything else, then here are a couple recommendations from me. Until next time, bye!